Hello, happy Monday. Welcome to Meeting of the Minds Mondays. I am your host, Intellects, and our topic for today is serving your gift to the world. We are going to jump right in, but first, a few announcements. Showcase Your Talent show will be next Wednesday from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Zoom. If you are interested in competing for our double prize next month, you must compete this month to be in the running. There will be a cash prize, but it won't be as much. The big bag is not until next month, all right? So you can compete as a contestant. If you just want to show your art, you have an option to be a feature. If you would like to discuss your product, service, or business during the show, there are sponsor spots. We do have an open mic for those who want to share their art but don't want to be a part of the showcase. And of course, viewers, we wouldn't be here without you. All of those options are available upon registration. If you go to the link in our bio or go to intellects.com. We have Meeting of the Minds Mondays, one Monday a month, where we discuss different topics from business to art to self and everywhere in between. If there's any topics that we have not discussed yet that you would like to hear on this platform, check out our previous series on here on YouTube to see what topics we've already covered. And if there's anything that we haven't yet, definitely connect with us, either DM or email, so that we can add your topic to the queue. If you would like to host Meeting of the Minds Mondays, there's an option for that as well. Definitely connect with us so that we can add you onto the list of hosts. We have Q&A Wednesdays, one Wednesday a month, where we pose a question to kind of gauge and get to know you a little better. We are all artists of some sort, but that's not all that we are. And asking each other questions, getting to know each other a little bit better, definitely helps us to see other sides of us. If you have a question that you would like to ask us, that is your time to do so during the live, either in the comment or question box. You can email us ahead of time or DM us ahead of time so that we can add your question on and answer it before we get into ours. If you would like to host or pose the question of the month, connect with us so that we can add that into the queue as well. We have Freestyle Fridays. Open mic is every Friday. We have an event. Second Fridays are Battle Art Edition, where you compete against other artists, and the winner is chosen by the viewer votes. Whoever has the most votes wins, and whoever wins picks the theme for the following month. Next month's theme will be a continuation since we did not find a winner. So it will be hero versus villain, and that's also a cash reward. So if you are interested, definitely tune in second Fridays. Third Fridays, we have our Art of War, Art of Awareness fundraiser, where we raise awareness for the beauty, necessity, and uniqueness of art, as well as raise funds so that we can come to a place near you to not just be virtual, but also be in person. And they go from virtual to in-person mini concerts, because the beauty of art, based on where you're from, based on your culture, your background, looks or sounds different, and we want to encompass that on our tour. So all of the funds will go towards that tour. You don't have to wait till third Fridays to donate. You can donate at any time. Click that link in our bio. Go to intellects.com. You can connect with us, DM us, or email us to find different ways to give at any point in time. And we thank all of our donators who have poured into this platform thus far. We appreciate each and every one of you. We also have on fourth Fridays our feature segment where we spotlight an entrepreneur doing their thing. This fourth Friday will be Diamond, since there were some technical issues last month. We are doing it this month, and stay tuned for that, because we got some goodies in store for you for that one as well. So make sure to come back this Friday for our fundraiser, where it's a chance for all artists to share whatever art they have. No theme, it's just you sharing who you are and what you do. We have Intellects, a Place for Entrepreneurs podcast in season 3. If you're interested in being a feature, definitely check out our previous seasons and our current one. And the current one is not just audio, it is visual. So if you are interested in being a feature for this month, and you've checked it out and you think that it's something that you can partner on, definitely connect with us so that we can add you on the list. We have promo options, we have books, we have merch, we have art and business seminars that we've done. Check it out on our channel on YouTube. Also, if you are interested in being a part, definitely connect with us so that you can be on the next one that's coming up. But for those who are on our email list, you already know when it's going to be dropping. For those who would like to be a part of our email list, definitely subscribe. It is free $99. There are member fees as well. There's books, there's merch, there's so much that we have going on. But to stay in the know with all things intellects, definitely subscribe to our email list. All right, we are going to jump right in. So, serving your gift to the world, how to be a fruit tree. Now, this is interesting because all of us have gifts. All of us have something that we can give back, that we can serve others with. We all have that, right? But not all of us utilize it. So we are going to be talking about how we can cultivate those gifts, how we can use those gifts in order to grow, in order to help others, in order to serve others, because at the end of the day, all of us have something that someone else needs. And if we keep it to ourselves, we're not only hindering our growth, but we're also stunting somebody else's. And a gift is not a gift unless it's shared, unless it's given. So make sure you are giving what you have, because that's what it's for. It's not just for you, it's for someone else. All right, so we're going to jump right into this.
We all have certain gifts or talents inside of us that are meant to be shared with others, whether it be art, music, dance, writing, or any other creative endeavor. For some of us, we are living our gifts and even making a living from it. However, for others, their gift may be hidden or locked away, as some are afraid to share their gift, thinking that they aren't good enough or others are better. No, your gift is unique to you and only you, and it can change the world. Think of how the world changed because Martin Luther King shared his dream, Beethoven shared his music, and Shakespeare shared his writings. For your gift can inspire others. Cheer someone up. Help them realize their own dreams and build self-confidence. So choose to share your gifts, your talents, and empower others to do the same. Change the world and make it a better place. Thank you for sharing in this inspirational video, and feel good. Don't forget to subscribe. And remember, the meaning of life is to find your gift, and its purpose is to give it away.
All right. That was just a little inspirational video. Okay. So basically what I already discussed about sharing your gifts, making a difference in someone else's life, that's very important when you focus not just on yourself, but on someone else. It's very important, okay? All right, so next we are going to go right into our next video, and we will be posting all of these videos on this live once it is posted, so that way you can have a chance to go and check out these videos on your own time as well. Okay, so now we are going to get into how to have reciprocal service, the gift of serving others. All right, and for anybody who may have questions or concerns, you can definitely connect with us. You can email us. You can make comments on this once it's over, or you can share your thoughts now. However you want to do it, whatever's more comfortable for you is fine. It doesn't necessarily have to be today if you want to share your thoughts. But definitely don't not share, okay? Because your thoughts are important and we want to know what you all think. All right. Hello, welcome to Meeting of the Minds Mondays. Our topic for today is serving your gift to the world and how to become a fruit tree. All right, so we are getting into this video talking about reciprocal service and the gift of serving others.
I have a confession to make. I have an addiction. I'm addicted to the feeling I get when I serve others. I want you to all think of a time when you did a selfless act of service for someone else. Opening the door for somebody. Cleaning up a beach. Volunteering at your local animal shelter. How did that make you feel? It's a combination of happiness, adrenaline, and self-fulfillment. And today, I want to take you all on a picture journey of what I've learned over the past 10 years of running a nonprofit. Here I am, at 6 years old, shoving cans and bottles into a plastic bag, recycling for the fight against deforestation. Now, at the time, that's the only way I knew how to raise money. But I kept at it. And in 2008, I was able to start my own nonprofit organization called Kids for Our World. Kids for Our World has now planted over 16,000 trees in 8 different countries. As you can imagine, going into high school, the idea of service was nothing new to me. But don't get me wrong, being a freshman in high school is nerve-wracking. I was nervous, I was scared, I didn't know what to expect. But when we got to freshman orientation, we received a list of all of our graduation requirements. On that list was completing 30 hours of community service. Now, the teachers and staff eloquently called it a service learning project, which really just meant that teenagers were required to work for free. And let me tell you, teenagers hate working for free. But as for myself, I'm more of a freak of nature, you could say. You see, as of last year, I had over 550 recorded community service hours. And to tell you the truth, I know I've done a lot more, but I completely lost count. Because it's not about the hours, it's about the feeling I get when I serve others. In 2015, Kids for Our World took on its biggest project yet. A group of 7 ambassadors and I flew down into the rainforest of Central America to accomplish 3 main goals. Number 1, replant 2.5 acres of rainforest. Number 2, help save endangered species. And number 3, have a cultural exchange with the Maleku Indians. Sounds awesome, right? Now picture this. As we stare out of the window of our bus, we're anxious for the journey that lie ahead. The bumpy, unpaved road reminds us just how far we've come from our comfortable homes over 3,000 miles away. And after a day and a half of travel, we finally arrive. We're greeted by one of the Maleku Indians. Although he's a bit shorter than us, his presence makes him seem like he towers twice our size, arms thicker than tree trunks. And on his left hand, he held a machete, while extending his right to shake ours. And his name? Jimmy. I was not expecting that. Our project begins and we find ourselves glancing at a seemingly endless wall of lush vegetation. And following Jimmy's lead, we begin to push our way through the trees. Howler monkeys and birds soar above our heads, and the sounds of large insects echo throughout. Two biologists accompany our trek, instructing us to collect seedlings along the way that will be used for a tree nursery. Now, this nursery is not only to help plant trees, but also to provide a safe, biodiverse home for thousands of endangered species. Now, the cultural exchange we had with the Maleku Indians was just mind-blowing. They teach us how to shoot bows and arrows, cook traditional meals, and tell ancient folktales. In return, we hope to share one of our favorite pastimes, so we decide to play a friendly game of soccer in the village. Now, we thought we were going to be teaching them how to play, but boy, were we wrong. They kicked our butts 6-3. On that week, we all worked as one, despite our backgrounds being a world apart, and I realized my addiction once again. I am addicted to the feeling I get when I serve others. The sound of thunder approaches, and the sunny day quickly turns into a combination of wind and rain. And I look to my right and I see some of my team members returning from the forest, trying to catch their breath. I see more team members packing dirt into small plastic bags, while I see the rest of my team carefully planting the rest of the trees into the nursery while swiping the sweat and mud off of their foreheads. One of the Maleku that was working with us lived right next to the site. I looked at his home and I was in complete disbelief. It looked like a small shack, no doors, no windows, and holes in the roof that allowed the rain to seep through. And out of the corner of my eye, I see a small boy. He's not wearing a shirt, barefoot in the cold. I wave, he smiles and waves back, and Jimmy introduces us to the family. And to my surprise, there are 9 kids that live there. 9 kids, with a single mother, an elderly man we find out is their grandfather. I think to myself, there are people around the world living like this, and sometimes I'm back at home taking what I have for granted. I see the boy once again. This time he's hiding behind his mom, a little shy, a little nervous. I ask him his name. Luis Miguel, he says. How old are you? 3. He holds up his fingers to show me his age. I put my backpack down and take out a soccer ball, but this isn't just any soccer ball. It's called the socket. See, when you play with this ball for 30 minutes, it produces 3 hours of light, which is revolutionary for a third world country like this. I put the ball on the ground, pass it to Luis Miguel, and he just can't resist his love for the game. So he passes the ball right back. Soon enough, the rest of my team members join in, the rest of the kids join in as well, for a combination of high fives, smiles, laughs, and hugs. And then, the boy invites us into his room, and this is where the magic happens. See, his room is dark, but when we plug the light bulb into the ball, just like the ball, his face lit up with a smile from ear to ear. It was the first time that Luis Miguel had seen light in his room. Now this is what you see. Teenagers going down into the rainforest of Central America helping low-income families, right? This is what you don't see. What that 3-year-old boy did for me. Because at that moment, my life was changed forever. I pondered the question, who was really serving who? Who were the real heroes in this story? And I come to understand that every time we serve, there's a form of reciprocal service. Reciprocal service. What does that mean? Well, in this case, we were helping them in the moment, but they were instilling something in us that would be with us for a lifetime. You see, I was humbled by their simplistic lifestyle. Humbled by the fact they invited us into their home, shared their hardships, but rejoiced in their blessings. It was their smiles, their laughs, and their thank yous that made it all worth it. So the next time you go out and volunteer, I invite you to remember and think about the question, who is really serving who? Because if we open our minds and we humble our hearts, we come to understand that those we serve leave a lasting impact in our lives. I hope that one day you can all find a passion that drives you towards that addiction of service. Because I am addicted to the feeling I get when I serve others. And let me tell you, it's a great feeling, and I know that you can feel it too. Thank you.
All right. That was welcome. Thank you for tuning in. That was Miguel talking about his experience when it comes to serving, and how when it comes to service, it's not about what you do or how much things you give out or what have you. It's about that feeling you get because you've done a service, or you've helped somebody else, or you've managed to put a smile on somebody's face or make somebody else's day. Those little things are what matters, right? So he talked about the question, who is really serving who? Because when it comes to reciprocal service, it's not just what you give to someone else, but it's also what they give to you, and keeping that in mind. All right. So I want you all to think about that and remember, it's not about the acknowledgement. It's not about the recognition. It's not about people knowing what you've done or, putting it out there. It's about doing it coming from the heart, because a lot of people serve forcefully, where they do it because they have to or they feel like they have to. They serve grudgingly, where you can tell they're doing it but they don't want to. And then there's people that serve cheerfully and serve voluntarily. We all do things for different reasons. If you are in an area of service, and I believe that we all are, what is your reason for doing it? And why do you serve? Why do you want to give your gift to the world? Like I was saying earlier, we all have gifts. We all have things to give to people. And a lot of us are sitting on what we have when the world is waiting for what we have, because it's what they need, right? So keep that in mind. He also talked about how we have to have open minds and humbling hearts, right? So doing things different. Sometimes when we want to do things a certain way, it might not happen that way. We might have to do it a different way. Are we open to change? Are we open to doing something different that's going to benefit somebody else? Because a lot of times we have our mind made up on certain things, which is fine to have a made up mind. But for the benefit of somebody else, plans might change. How will you respond to that? And then one thing that he did say that I really liked was that he hopes we all find passion that drives your addiction to serve, right? So we all should be addicted in some type of way to service, to serving others, to giving others something that we have that they might need, that will help them to be better at whatever they're doing. We should be addicted to the service, not to getting something from it, not to for different reasons, but actually serving and helping others to get to where they're going. A lot of times the greatest people are the ones who give of themselves without expecting anything in return, without expecting acknowledgement or, oh, I'm doing this because they're going to do this for me, but actually doing it because of the love of it and nothing else, right? Of course, we all have different things inside of us that say, well, I'm doing this and hopefully I'll get something back. Hopefully somebody will notice me. Hopefully somebody will record me, or I'm going to record to show them that I'm doing this. But a lot of times when you do things out of your heart, you don't care who sees it. You don't care about all of these accolades and people seeing you or getting recognized or getting monetary or other donations from it. You're doing it simply for the love of serving. And I think all of us need to have that. And like he said, to have that passion that drives your addiction to serve. Love you too, Queen. Thank you for tuning in. We just finished up on a video, reciprocal service, and how the gift of serving others is not just you giving something, but you getting something in return. And Mr. Miguel talked about how he got more blessed because what it felt for him to help somebody else, and how he got more from giving than getting. And sometimes all you need to do is give. Like a lot of times I've heard serving your way to the top, or giving when you don't have it is how you get more. But it's a science and a formula to where if you don't have whatever you are looking for, whatever you need, you do that. You know, if you need help with something, you give somebody that help, and that help will come back to you. It's the law of the universe is you give what you get, and you get what you give, right? Okay, so we are going to move right along, and this next video is talking about the healthiest version of ourselves is the greatest gift that we can give.
Growing up, I was taught to always put family first. But let's be real, families are complicated. And the bigger the family, the more complex the dynamics. Think about it. There's tragedy, triumph, death, divorce, birthdays, bar mitzvahs, weddings, in-laws, secrets, one-night stands. The list goes on. Families are complicated. Can we all agree? Today, I'm here to dive deep into the complex dynamics of family and uncover why I believe truth is stranger than fiction. This talk is not about sustainability, neuroscience, or nanotechnology. It's about family and the idea that the greatest gift we can offer our families is the healthiest version of ourselves. On October 30th, 2018, at 2 p.m., I received an email that changed my life and shook the core of my entire family tree. But before I get into that, let me give you a little backstory. So it's 1993. I'm 12 years old, and Shoop by Salt and Peppers on the radio. Y'all remember that song? Shoop, shoop, bedu, shoop, bedu, shoop, bedu, bedu, bedu. So good. So good. I'm in my room playing NBA Jam on Sega, and my mom is in the living room on the phone. All of a sudden, the music stops. She knocks on my door. I pause the game. She walks in the room, gives me a big hug, kisses me on the forehead, looks me in the eye, and goes on to say that my dad, the man whose name is on my birth certificate, recently requested a blood test to verify that I was his son before he would begin to pay child support. The test came back negative. He was not my biological father. I could immediately feel a void starting to form in my chest as tears rolled down my cheeks. It felt like Mike Tyson hit me in the gut. It hurt. How would you have handled that situation at 12? For the sake of continuity, I will continue to refer to my dad, the man whose name is on my birth certificate, as Dad, and my biological father as my biological father, which I'll get into here shortly. So 8 years go by, and I didn't hear a word from my dad. I felt abandoned, and there wasn't a day that went by where I didn't wonder if I would ever talk to or hear from him again. All of a sudden, out of the blue, I get a call from my grandma, my dad's mom. She's happy to reconnect and invites me out to California for a few days to visit the family. Now, I'm happy to hear from her as well, but feeling a little self-conscious because she doesn't say anything about the blood test and everything else seems fine. So I accept the invitation. A few months go by. I get out to California, and it feels like a family reunion. It was amazing, but strange. Kind of like an episode from The Twilight Zone, because no one, including my dad, said anything about this huge elephant that was in the center of the room. And I'm not here to point fingers at all today. I didn't know how to talk about it either. I knew even back then this was a complicated topic for the family and something that I wouldn't have the courage to address until last year. So fast forward to 2018. DNA tests are popular, they're easily accessible, but I'm scared to take one. I eventually get over that fear. I ordered a kit, I did the swab test, I sent it out, a few weeks go by, results come in, blown away. What I learned about my DNA inspired and empowered me to learn as much as I could about my ancestors, but deep down, I still wanted to know for sure who my biological father was. So a couple more weeks go by, and I get a notification from the DNA company that I've been working with. It says I have a message. I click on the message. It says something like this. Hi, my name is Robert. I stumbled on your profile today, and I'm in extreme shock. It says that you are definitely my son. Question mark. I'm very curious about this match. Please respond. Now, the first thing that came to mind was, is this some kind of evil marketing strategy that DNA companies use to get people to upgrade their membership? Because if so, this is pretty low. This is pretty low. But luckily, my curiosity overpowered my skepticism, and I responded back with a few messages and some questions. He gets back to me pretty quickly, and all of his answers line up with my timeline. We exchange a few more messages and decide we need to hop on a call. So we get on the phone, and we end up talking for 6 hours straight. Not only did we confirm that our DNA was a match and have a number of things in common, but I learned that my biological father is also a Grammy-nominated songwriter who's collaborated with a number of well-known musicians, one of them being the artist formerly known as Prince. Crazy, right? And get this, to get his first band job, he learned like the entire Jimi Hendrix catalog. He was obsessed, and I thought that was interesting because I love Jimi Hendrix, so I thought that was a special connection right there. Our conversation was like chicken soup for the soul, and his stories filled the void in my heart with hope. For the first time in my adult life, I could feel my biological father's love. My family tree was complete. I stand firm by my idea today and believe with all my heart that the greatest gift that you can offer your family is the healthiest version of yourself. So when we strive to bring that version of ourselves to those who are closest to us, we create a safe space for our families to make mistakes without judgment so we can all grow. And you know, I'm not a fortune teller. I don't own a crystal ball. I have no idea what the future is going to look like for us. But what I do know is that I'm willing to call out the elephant in the room to create space for the truth so that I can reconnect the dots to my family tree. Stories like mine are not uncommon. They're unfolding every single day as we speak. I would imagine there's probably a few dozen in this room today. So my question for you is, how will you choose to show up for your family? I'm choosing to meet my biological father in person 3 weeks from today. Thank you. So Robert, I know you're watching this. Thank you for coming into my life. I look forward to connecting with you in person and reimagining what is possible for us. To be continued. Thank you.
All right. And that was Carrie or Kari. And he talked about the greatest gift that we can give others is the healthiest version of ourselves, which is a very good, it's very good advice, because if we're not in a state where we need to be, where we're becoming more harmful than helpful, we are going to do more damage than actual service. So being at a place where you know, okay, my mental is right, my physical is right, my emotional is right, my intentions are right, now I can help somebody else. But you can't help anybody before you help yourself. So knowing that you have to be in a healthy state in order to serve others and help others is what is important. All right, so he also talks about creating space for the truth. Be honest with yourself and be honest with others. Now, I know a lot of us out here have different niches and different gifts, and a lot of us want to profit off of our gifts, which is fine, but that should not be the only reason why you do what you do. There are people who work in different places, and you can tell who really has a heart for what they do and people who are just there for the money. It is possible to have the love for what you do and also want to get paid for it, but to just have one or the other, people can tell when you're fake, people can tell when you're authentic, and people can tell when your heart is in it. Right? So be truthful with yourself and figure out if that's what you want to do, if you are actually serving because you want to serve, or you're serving because you're getting something from it. But when you are giving something, you are giving something so someone else can get it, not for you to get something back. Eventually it does come back to you, but that should not be your only motivation or your only reason for giving your gift out. And when it comes to being the fruit tree, whatever you have within you, you have to cultivate it. You have to nurture it. You have to feed it so that it can grow. And whatever you have within you is what is going to come out of you to give to someone else. So make sure what you're doing within yourself is right. And make sure, like he said, being the healthiest version of yourself, which means cultivating what you have and making it so that it is prepared properly to give to somebody else. You don't want to go to a place and order some food at a restaurant or order something online and it's shown a certain way, and then when you get it, it's totally different. Make sure you come correct so that you can give correctly, so that people can receive what it is that you have in the proper way. All right, next we are going to talk about finding your gifts and giving it. A lot of us have gifts and we're good at a lot of different things, but some of us don't know what those gifts actually are, or some of us don't know what your unique gift is that you need to give out to the world. So that's what we're going to talk about now with Jerlene.
This a little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This a little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This a little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. out of all of the hats that I wear. Radio talk show host, television entertainment reporter, grad student. These all enrich my life. They're good ideas. Oh, but they're my talents on display. See, singing, it moves me. It transforms me. It's the God idea in my life. It's my gift. Now, I'm fortunate to know that. My parents knew it, and they made sure that I knew it. But not everyone comes into their gifts so easily. A great way to begin is by understanding the difference between a talent and a gift. Steve Harvey, author, radio and television host, as well as comedian, he said it where I could understand it. He said, your talent will allow you a wonderful career. A career is what you are paid for, but your calling is what you are made for. A calling ties directly into your gift. That's good, isn't it? Now, for those of you who know this, honey, you are lucky. Run and use your gift. Use it until you are used up, dead, gone, kaput. But for those of you who don't know, I have to ask, do you know where you're going to? Do you like the things that life is showing you?
Yes, he is.
Where are you going to? Do you know? Well, tonight, I hope to help you begin to answer the question, why was I born? For in that answer, that's where you will find your gift. Okay. So what is it that you would do if you never were paid for it? Anything? Seriously, that's what you need to think about. Go back to your childhood and wonder, did I dance all the time? Did I talk all the time like me? Did you build all the time? Go back to that time and reconnect with what you did, that one thing that you couldn't stop doing. That's where your pearls of your gift are. Search and search and search until you find them. And don't be surprised if it's not what you expected. Sometimes we receive gifts that don't look like us. Now, Beyonce, she's a beautiful woman. I knew when I saw her, that girl can sing. And by the way, I will have that body when I get to heaven. Just saying. But I knew she could sing. I just believed it. She was so beautiful, so poised, and dedicated. But every now and then, a gift will show up that is not delivered by the obvious. A person who looks like they should have that particular gift. For example, you remember in 2009 with Britain's Got Talent? Remember a woman walked out on stage, frumpy, unassuming, quiet in nature. When Simon Cowell started interviewing her, people in the audience started laughing. And then she opened her mouth and sang. And she blew the world away. Susan Boyle blew the world away, and we never cared what she wore again. Think about that. I met a gift like this once. I'm from Gary, Indiana, and all I did was go to church. We went to church Tuesday through Sunday. Monday was my Sabbath. On Sundays, church was long but fruitful. Of course, you would receive a song that uplifted you and a word in the sermon that even challenged you. But every now and then, a surprise would show up. A woman was sitting way in the back of the church. Oh, I remember her because she was bejeweled in all of her sequin dress and her crown or hat, as you may call it, filled with rhinestones and peacock feathers. No wonder she was sitting in the back. Nobody could have seen around all of that. And just when there was a pregnant pause in the service, it gave her rise. And she began walking down the aisle, touching to the left and touching to the right, singing Amazing Grace. All 4 verses. And she could not sing. No, I am telling you, she could not sing. It was awful. However, around the second refrain or so, something happened. All of a sudden, the spirit in her voice lifted us outside of our circumstance, took us away from that horrible week that we had just had, or the one we thought we were about to enter on Monday. A gift can do that sometimes. Now, once you have the gift, you have to nurture it, protect it, and care for it. That means everything you do, you should start to breathe it into your gift. Everything you watch, everything you listen to, everything you read affects, positively inspires your gift and yourself, or it can infect, taint, destroy it. Affect, infect. I've taught at many high schools my workshop. The music department sponsored me, and I would arrive and ask the students, okay, so tell me what you go to bed listening to, what you wake up in the morning listening to, what you study and listen to. Oh, they would holler out all the usual suspects, right? Some I understood, some I knew. But when they got to Motown, I would say, hey, that's my music. That's my music. But every now and then, you would hear students that would holler out, death metal, gangster rap. That's what they would rise and fall asleep to. Now, I don't know about you, but as a mother of two, I would never want my children to see the world through that particular lens. Affect, infect. Protect it, nurture it, care for it. Now, there will be times where you don't quite understand why the gift is holding on to you when you get it. It will show itself at unexpected times. I remember being at a church, no, in fact, it was a women's group, being at a women's group, and they had met with me and said, we want you to sing one song, Gerald, and only one song. And I was like, I can do that. This is about 30 years ago. We had come up with a song. I can't remember what it was right now, but it was something like, we are family. Y'all know that song? Come on. I got all my... Exactly. Now, for whatever reason, I don't quite know why, but the night before, I was just stirring with another song. Just stirring, going, man, I can't get this song out of my brain, out of my heart, out of my spirit. But that's all right. That's what I'm getting paid for. Sing the song. We are family. So I stand in front of the microphone. I'm ready, right? And all of a sudden, I sing. For all we know, we may never meet again. Before you go, make this moment sweet again. We won't say goodbye until the last minute. I'll hold out my hand and my heart will be in it. Afterwards, a member came to me and she said, you know, we lost a friend, a dear friend, tragically. And as a group, we've been grieving collectively. That song that you sang was just what we needed to hear.
Good point, Diamond.
Just what we needed to hear. They never hired me again. Nope. Cash that check one time. But just know when you're nurturing and caring and protecting that gift, these are the things you have to consider. If the gift is going to work, you got to know. You got to know what's in it. You got to be able to trust it. And I trusted it that day. Another way that you can nurture it is by coming up with your own personal value statement. Your constitution. Mine started back in Gary, Indiana. Yes, it did. We had a group called the Puritans. If you were a teenager between the ages of 12 and 17, you were a Puritan. Do I look like a Puritan? We met every Tuesday, right? That's where we learned about the books of the Bible. We had to memorize scripture. And of course, we had to learn the 10 commandments that they created for us because the original just wasn't enough. Let's see if I can remember them. A few of them anyway. Stop and think before you drink. Don't let your parents down. They brought you up. Be humble enough to obey. You'll be giving orders yourself someday. At the first moment, turn away from all unclean thinking. Well, I didn't do so well with that. No. Choose your friends carefully. You are what they are. Now, this Constitution, really, these are the pillars of my gift. They pad it, secure it, incubate it. You know, I clearly have parameters drawn, but sometimes you get distracted. Sometimes your gift takes a different direction that you didn't see coming. I was in the studio with my family once singing with one of the nation's biggest stars, and he brought in another guest, and I call him the Funk Meister. Yeah. And he had us singing on this project for about 2 weeks. We were back and forth to the studio, and all of a sudden, he introduced the song and said, hey, I want you guys to sing this. And I'm reading through going, okay, I know what my parameters are. No, if my children can't listen to it, I'm not singing it. But they wore me down. They seduced me. They kept talking, kept begging, kept talking. And I decided to sing the song. I'm reciting the international anthem to Booty. Oh. I am aligned with Booty, patriotically pledging allegiance to the Booty. I am so blushing. You can't tell, but I am. So now I have to go home and tell my children and my husband what I had just done. Now, my children were too young, so I delayed it about 5 years. But when they became teenagers, I thought I better tell them. And I will never forget, my daughter was like, oh, Mom, such a drama queen. Oh, Mom. Brilliant young lady. I absolutely adore her. Mom. My son, he looked at me and said, that's okay, Mom. It was just a detour. It's not the death of your gift. Those were the words that carried me right back onto the road. And know that those words mean something. Now, I hit the family lottery. My parents told me every day that I was beautiful. Every day. What if they had told me I was ugly, fat, and stupid? Would I have been silenced, broken, have used my gift for something else in a different way? No, they said, Geraldine, you are beautiful. Let me tell you something, little girl. I was born a size 6 with bad skin. Okay? But every day, you are beautiful. You are beautiful. And I bought into it. I believed it. I believed it. I still believe it today. I am Janet Jackson in a bigger box. Affect, infect, affect, infect, affect, infect. I cannot tell you how important those words are. But the words can support your gift. Come up with a mantra. That's what I do. When I'm not quite sure which way to go, I have a mantra that I repeat daily. Now, there was a time I decided to do the one that said, make more, work less. I mean, come on, if it works, right? Well, it worked. I am telling you, my finances were so increased that year, I haven't made that much money since. It was an incredible year for me. But the consequences of words travel deep. All of a sudden, my marriage was ending in divorce. My children were miserable. And my cherished Relationships were challenged. People I've known for decade after decade. Be careful what you say, what words you choose to build you up, to support you, to help you in giving out your gift. Now it's time to decide. You've got the gift, you know how to nurture it and care for it. You got to share it. You have to choose how to share it. It will absolutely be up to you. And it's never too late. Some people come early into their gifts, some people come late into their gifts. You still have to decide how to share it. Will you be generous with it? Will you do good with it? Be good with it. That's the question. Choose wisely. Because every time you deliver that package, and it is a package to be delivered, every time you deliver it, it has to come from the right place. And when it doesn't, it disturbs you. It disturbs your inner core. Now, there will be times when you will be exhausted. You won't even know how to keep pouring out the next time you need to give your gift. We pour it and pour it and pour it. You've seen nurses and doctors like that, right? You've seen teachers, principals, and even students do that. They pour and pour and pour themselves out. Where do they go to fill up? We all need a filling station for our gift. Find one. For me, it is steeped in those 5 large gatherings that my family and I have. First of all, they keep me humble. You know, they'll come right up to you and say, "What is that wig you are wearing? And what are those Betty Boop shoes?" Today, my mother looked at my shoes and said, "Really?" Don't say nothing. I like my shoes. First of all, they keep you real. They really keep you real. And when I leave those family gatherings, I am completely satiated, mentally, spiritually, and yes, unfortunately, physically. But I am filled, ready to pour out again and again and again. So, what have we learned here today? We learned that you have a gift, that it absolutely matters. You belong to it, and it belongs to you. You belong to it, it belongs to you. Go out, nurture, protect it, care for it. Figure out how you're going to share it. Be careful. Be careful. When you're not quite sure which way to go, give yourself a mantra to help build it up. Come up with a personal statement, a constitution. But above all, choose whether you are going to affect or infect. Affect or infect. It truly is your choice. Now you can never say you didn't know. Thank you.
All right. That was Jerlyn with finding your gift and giving it. Wasn't that awesome? Her passion. You see how much she loves what she does, and sharing and being able to talk in a way that you can convey the message. So Diamond, you said how many times we need to serve our gift versus holding back when it's tough. Yeah, so I think that when it comes to when it's tough, first off, life in itself is tough. Learning to get over those humps and learning to really focus on how to push through those tough moments, because when you think about, all right, look, I don't want to do this, but somebody else needs this, so let me just suck it up real quick, you know, to kind of get through those moments, because our gift is supposed to always be giving. We're supposed to always be serving our gift to the world, and when we don't, somebody that needs it is not going to get it. And then, you know, it's kind of like everything that happens, everything that we do affects other people around us, affects those connected to us in some type of way. So just remember, whatever you decide to do, somebody else is going to be affected by your decisions. So is it going to be good decisions, or is it going to be decisions that you might double think about later on, like maybe I should have done this differently, you know? So just think about that. And then you said, what happens if you don't feel serving products with gifts. So it depends on your gift. Like Miss Jolene, she was a singer, so her gift is singing, right? She doesn't necessarily have to have something with that because she has her gift inside of her. Some people do have gifts when it comes to actually physically giving people things, but I think it all depends on what you're giving and how you're serving it and how you want people to see it, the delivery process, the impressions, the first impressions, or how do you want people to receive what you have. So it all depends. If you do have a type of gift where, let's say you are a planner, or a interior decorator, you're giving somebody something, that's making something look better than what it was. Or if you are a gift giver, or you create baskets, or you create, cakes, or you create different things, those products are a part of the gift. But it all depends on what type of gift you're referring to. So I think knowing what your gift is, knowing how to serve it in a way where somebody can receive it the way it's supposed to be received. So just a little recap of what she was talking about, because she went through a whole bunch and she made it real nice, right? Yeah, she's lit, right? So she said finding the God idea in your life. So the gifts that we have are given to us by God. And once you realize what that gift is, then you realize that it wasn't your idea, it was God's that gave to you so that you can help someone else. So when you think about your gift, think about it being a God idea in your life, and how not everyone comes into their gift easily. Some look disguised. Some don't come into it until later on in life. Some know from very young exactly what they're going to do. For me personally, I always was in the business of helping others, of serving others in any type of capacity, helping with the youth, starting them from young, because they're like sponges. They soak up everything, and I wanted to give them a good example of that. Also, writing came easy for me. Art came easy for me. So creating this business was something that I had in me at the age of 16, and that's when I created it, because I wanted to have something so that others can benefit off of it. The whole purpose of Intellect's Artrepreneur Agency is to help others find their gifts, so that when I'm at a place where I'm stable and I have enough to be able to give to somebody else, like platforms like these, being able to have different shows, have different cash rewards to give back to others, to have this platform so that they can shine. That was the ultimate goal, so that people can share what they love on a platform like how I'm loving it, and that's my way of serving, by doing what I'm supposed to be doing, writing different books, writing poetry, doing my art, and networking with those who are in the same field as me, who may need some help getting out there, or need resources, or need a platform, or need some experts to help them in different arenas, because kind of like bosses making bosses. So it's not just me doing something for myself and just like, oh, screw everybody else. It's like, oh, this helps me, let me help you. And I'm on this journey too, so I ain't made it yet. You know what I'm saying? But even when I do, quote unquote, make it, there's going to be a whole group with me that's going to be in line with how I've gotten to that point, because I've helped them along the way as well. And honestly, something that Kobe Bryant said, rest in peace, is, all those late nights and all those early mornings and doing those things that you don't feel like doing, but doing them anyway. And, continuing to go when you don't feel like it, pushing beyond your emotions and still getting the job done. That is the dream. A lot of people think that once you get to a certain point, oh, I'm living the dream, but it's the actual journey that's the dream. So embrace the journey, because once you get there, it's like, wow, everything that led up to this point, So, but yeah, that's my reason. Also, let's see. She talked about how the difference between a talent and a gift. And I feel like what she talked about and how Steve Harvey defined it was awesome, because the talent is something that you can have as a career, something that will allow you to have a career, something that you can get paid for. But a calling is what you were made for, right? So the talent, it can give you something that you can get paid for, but your calling is something that you're made for. And if it's something that you're made to do, it's going to keep showing up in different ways. It's not going to leave. It's going to follow you forever, whether you fulfill it or not. And when you're doing what you're called to do, you will receive rewards just by doing what it is that you're supposed to be doing, right? So don't think because you're not getting paid now that you're not going to get paid. There's plenty of people out here who can show you and prove to you that I'm doing this because I love it, and I didn't make money at first, but now I'm making a lot of money doing what I love. So many different people say that, and so many prosperous and successful people say that whatever you do, you should love it. Because if you're doing something constantly over and over again and you don't love it, people are going to know, right? She talked about how the answer to why I was born is, where your gift lies. That answer will be whatever your gift is. Whatever you're willing to do and not get paid for it is what your gift actually is. She also talked about how you need to nurture, protect, and care for your gift, because it can either affect your life or infect your life based on what you're feeding it, based on what you're listening to, what you're watching, who you're listening to, what you're surrounding yourself with, how you're studying. All of these things either infect your gifts or they affect it for the better. And coming up with a personal statement to help you kind of hone in on what you're doing, like how we say here at Intellects, we connect you with experts, networks, platforms to promote you to be the best you that you could be in your unique artistry. And we do that to the best of our abilities. That hones in on what we do here. What is your personal statement for your gift? How are you helping to serve? And if you don't have one, maybe that's something that you can work on this week. She also talked about that the gift is going, if the gift is going to work, you have to know how it works, which means you have to learn about your gift. You have to study it. You have to get to know it. You have to find a way to learn what it is that you are doing. Like, yes, I write. I have many books, but learning what genre I want to work under, learning different people, researching other people who are authors, how they came into their gifts, how they pursued it, going to different classes, training classes, how to hone in better on writing better. Same thing with poetry and with spoken word, how to deliver better, looking up different artists, different things like that. Whatever your gift is, you need to be studying it, or else you're going to be the same place you were when you started, and that is not growth. That's stagnant energy that we don't have. We ain't going into 2023 with no stagnant energy, okay? We have to actually work at what we want. Nothing is going to be handed to us. We have to work for it, and whatever you put in is what you're going to get out of it. So if you're only putting in 20%, that's all you're going to get, and that's not even worth your time or energy. If you're going to do something, go hard at it. Don't make excuses. Just do it. All right. And then she talked about once you nurture and care for your gift, then you got to share it. But you have to decide how to share it. How you going to wrap that thing up? How it's going to look? How you going to deliver that package? That's what you have to work on, and that's what you need to think about. All right. So we are going to move right along to our next video. And there's a few extra videos that I'll add in the comment section once this live is over. that I think were, you know, some goodies, but for the sake of time, we're not going to go through all of them because that's like an extra half an hour. We ain't doing all that. Okay? It's already been like an hour now, which is fine. You know, I love being with y'all, you know, but I do have some other things to do today. All right. So we are going to talk about how to discover and refine your gifts. And this is Dr. Miles Monroe. May he rest in peace. He was a great author, a speaker, pastor, educator, scholar, so much more. And he's very wise. He ran a multi-million-dollar company, and all he did was go around the world and shared how he got to that point. But it started with him as a child, and he grew, you know, as he got older. So cultivate your gift, refine it, you know, make it so that it's good for you.
All of us probably are gifted. Some of us got too many gifts, like me. Man, I'm an investor. All these different things I do. So what do you do when you have more than one gift? Write this down. First, you choose one. Choose the one that gives you the most passion. And then put all your energies into that one. You will find naturally all your other gifts will find their way into that one gift, and it'll become a complement to the gift. And that's how you deal with all these ideas you have. You got to choose one that you are most passionate about and begin to put it on paper with a plan, a strategy, an idea. A lot of people look at me, people like me and others like us, like me, and they say, boy, I like to do what you're doing. You know, you get 800, 900 invitations to travel around the world every year. 1,000 venues want you to come. They pay you, you know, $50,000 an hour. You know, and I get paid that. US dollars, I get paid $50,000 a day to do stuff. And people say, I want to be that way. This is a result. This is not a gift. It took me 30 years to get to that. But here's what you do. Here's how I started. And you must start the same way. First, your gift will make room for you in the world. What did I say? Your gift, not your education. Your gift. Your gift is the natural talent that God gave each human in certain areas. You have a gift. When you discover your gift, and your gift might be communication. Your gift might be, you know, teaching or consulting or speaking like I am. Maybe that's your gift. What do you do with that gift first? First of all, you don't ask people to pay you to use it, because your gift is not refined yet. Stop asking for money. What you want first is opportunity to use your gift freely. Give it away free first. So go to your church and ask your pastor, Pastor, can I please teach the children's church? Why? I want to practice using my gift. And if you use it on children, they ain't gonna know when you make a mistake. So use them to refine your gift. And then 2 years later come and say, Pastor, I want to work in the youth department. Why? I want to try to communicate with the oldest kids now. And I want to stay there for 2 years. And you work free. And you exercise your gift. And let them young people pull that stuff out of you. And you got to study with subjects and content. And get substance for your master, for your information. You read books and you read books. How do you think I became so good? I have a good memory. You get up next week. Anyhow. In other words, you need to get content first. And then practice on people. And then when you finish with the youth, then volunteer, say, I'd like to work with the young college group, Pastor. 2 years, I want to work with a young college group, and you put a college group together, and you all do sessions, and you teach them, and you talk about business, and talk about investments, and stuff like that. You are learning while you're growing, you're learning while you're teaching. You're becoming valuable. You know what happens afterwards? When God is satisfied that you have planted enough seeds, and you've given enough time, and you've refined your gift enough, you know what God does? He places you in an environment, and there's someone in the crowd that he brings that night. Only one person it takes to change your life. And that one person happened to be there while you were speaking free. And they say, wow, this is how it works. And they'll come to you and says, I like what you said tonight. I have a TV show. I want you to come and talk on my TV show. And you absolutely say, what? Yes, sir. In other words, God will not expose you until you are refined. So write this down, please. Success. If you want to be a success in any area, including public speaking, consulting, communication, business, anything. If you want to be successful, never seek success. Seek to become a person of value. I repeat, if you want to be successful in life, young woman, young man, stop seeking success. Seek to become a person of value. How do you become a person of value? First, you become significant. How do you become significant? You become unique. How do you become unique? You make yourself rare. How do you become rare? You develop a gift that cannot be found anywhere else. There's something you were born to do that no one else can do, the way you can do it. So you have to become competent in one area. There are other areas you can learn from, but you must become good in one area. Be known for something. Most people are failures because they are general practitioners. They can do everything and they specialize in nothing. Find something, work on it.
All right. Okay. Okay, so that was Miles Monroe. You know, short but sweet. Had some goodies up in there too. And I think he dropped a few gems. You know, pretty much everybody that we listened to tonight talked about similar stuff. So he talked about how when you have multiple gifts, how do you know which one to choose? And he said to choose the one that gives you the most passion, and how all the other gifts will be found in that one that'll help to enhance that one gift. So if you have multiple gifts, if you could do so much, like, you know, I have multiple gifts, but I kind of honed in on all of the things that I do and put it in intellects. So what are you doing? How many gifts do you have? And how can you kind of hone in on the one that you find has the most passion in your life, that gives you the most passion? Focus on that and build that one up, and all the other ones will eventually follow. He talks about how it took him 30 years to perfect and to refine his gift, which means it's not overnight. It's going to take time, it's going to take consistency, and it's going to take work. How willing are you to wait to get to the gift that you want to see? You know, because a lot of us, we might dream about ourselves being in a certain place or see ourselves in a certain place, but it takes time. It's not just going to happen. So what are you going to do about those things, right? How are you going to refine your gift? How are you going to make whatever you see happen for yourself happen? It says, your gifts will make room for you. So don't chase, because it will attract whatever it needs to attract Don't chase, attract. All right. He talked about how your gift is your natural talent that God gave you. And we talked about that a little bit earlier. He also talked about how instead of looking or asking for money, to ask for opportunities for you to use your gift freely. That's your battleground, your chance to practice. That's the time when you can hone in on your gifts and cultivate it a little bit better by using it, right? They say when you're learning a new language, if you don't use it, you're what? You lose it. The same thing when it comes to a gift. If you don't learn how to cultivate it and how to grow in it and be better with it, it's not going to grow. It's just going to be the same place it was at before, right? He also talks about how you get content and then practice on people, right? Don't just jump in there and be like, oh, I got it all together, and then you make a fool of yourself. Start small and work your way up. Once you've excelled in one area, then challenge yourself to go to another area, but work on your gift. That's how you refine it, by working on it. He also discussed to learn while you teach. So, that's like life, right? There's people who teach us different things or show us different things. That's because they're learning along the way, right? We're all learning as we go. And while we learn, we are continuing to grow and to have a better idea of how to do different things. Learn as you go and learn while you teach. He also said that sometimes all it takes is just one person who was there at the right time while you are using those different opportunities, serving your way to the top, not asking for money, asking for different opportunities. And that one person being in the same place as you can be the one moment that changes your life. And all it takes is just that one person who's interested, who shows interest, who believes in whatever your gift is and believes in you and gives you that opportunity. So don't shun small beginnings, because all it takes is one person. Even if only just one person shows up, eventually, the word will get out there. So keep going no matter what. He also talked about how if you want to be successful, never seek success. Seek to become a person of value. And when you become a person of value, how do you do that? Become significant. And when you become significant, make yourself rare, which means develop your gift so that it can't be found anywhere else. There's so many people that's doing the same thing, but they're doing it differently to where it made them become something totally different. It looks totally different from somebody else that's doing the exact same thing. Make it you. Put your little twist on it. And I actually posted something about that earlier, where people do so many things the same, but what makes it different is what they put on it, putting their little twist on it, putting themselves on it. That's how you make yourself rare, is doing something that can't be found anywhere else. They can only come to you. That's your gift. That's what you need to be giving to the world, because people will pay for what they need. They'll pay for what they want too, but they'll pay for what they need. Okay. Also, become competent in one area and be known for something, because a lot of people can do everything, but they aren't specializing in anything. Don't become a jack of all trades, but a master of none. Be great at what you do and find one thing to be amazing at. And those other gifts that you're great at will help that one amazing gift to be more amazing. Just a little recap of what we talked about earlier. Jalen, she has so many different things to talk about, but just cultivating that gift, nurturing it, caring for it, protecting it. And then once you do that, then serving your gift and deciding how to serve that gift and how to share it. Also, that your gift is the God idea in your life, that not everyone comes into their gift right away. Some people take time. Sometimes it looks disguised. Sometimes people don't know until they're well into their 40s or 50s, and some people know when they're children. But once you know, it's your responsibility to do something about it. And figuring out the answer to why was I born? That's your gift. Whatever you're passionate about, what you can do or what you're willing to do without getting paid for it is more than likely your gift. And that you either can affect your gift in a positive way, or you can infect it by what you listen to, what you surround yourself with, what you watch, and what you're studying. All of those things affect it. Carrie talked about the greatest gift you can give anybody is the healthiest version of yourself. Because once you are in a state of healthiness, then you can think clearly, you can act clearly, you can create clearly, and you give somebody what you have within you. And if you're not right, what you produce is not going to be right. So making sure you're mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually healthy, so that you can come into a space where you can create space and you can create some amazing works through your gifts, so that you can serve it properly to those who are in need of it. And creating that space for the truth, being honest with yourself about what you need. If you need time away, do that. If you need all of these different things, do that for yourself first, because you can't help anybody without helping yourself first. You can't love anybody without loving yourself first. You can't treat anybody a certain way without treating yourself that way first. So keep in mind that you come first before others. So when you're serving others, make sure that you are serving yourself properly first. Also, Miguel talked about how when you serve others, it's that feeling that you get when you serve that should count, and that you should have you should find a passion that drives your addiction to serve, to where you're not doing it for things, you're not doing it for likes, you're not doing it for accolades or to be seen, but you're doing it for the love of it, and you're doing it because of what it gives to you. And then also remembering who is serving who and what you're getting out of that, and just sharing your gift. So I just want to play just for a short moment, a couple minutes, or not even a couple minutes, just a few seconds of the extra clip that I have on being persistent, being present, and using your gift.
Good afternoon, friends. It is epic to be here at TEDx Wilmington. It's a gift, and I brought you a gift, and we're going to hold on to that gift until the end of the talk, if that's okay with you all. When I was 5 years old, I knew two things. I was going to join the Navy, and I was going to be a chef. And as a small kid growing up in a smaller town in Ohio, chefs were like ghosts. You knew what they were, but you never saw them. The only chefs I knew about were Julia Child, the French chef, Bon Appetit, and Graham Kerr, the Galloping Gourmet. Every one of you in this room and every one of us on this planet is blessed with a gift. And it is your personal responsibility to use that gift. It is an inheritance from the universe that you must share and bless other people with your gift. And in turn, you will receive blessings to the point where you will grow and prosper and roam this planet like the spiritual giant the universe has intended for you to be. Whether your gift is service, be of service to others. If it is in teaching, teach. If it is giving mercy, give it cheerfully. We all have gifts, ladies and gentlemen. How many people in this room here are aware of their gift and are using their gift by show of hands? That's great. Congratulations. For those of you who didn't raise your hands, the good news is it doesn't matter if you're 5, 15, or 50 when you discover your gift. What's important is to discover your gift, because we all have gifts to share. And for those people who didn't raise your hands, I have a question. When is the best time to plant a tree? It was 50 years ago. And the second best time is right now. The tiniest of acorn you can plant.
All right, y'all. That is all I'm going to share for right now. I will add that in the chat once this is over. Thank you so much for tuning in, for sharing your thoughts. I hope you got something from this topic about serving your gift to the world. How to be the fruit tree. In order to get fruit, you have to plant it, you have to water it, you have to nurture it, cultivate it, protect it, then serve it, and decide how you want to serve. Just a few announcements. Showcase Your Talent show will be next Wednesday from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Zoom. If you are interested in competing for next month's double prize, you have to participate this month. There will be a cash reward, but the double prize will be next month. Our theme for this month is Winter Artful Land. If you are interested, there are still spots left to register as a contestant. If you just want to show your art, there are feature spots available. We do have sponsor spots as well. If you have a product, service, or business that you want to discuss during the show. We also have an open mic segment for those who are interested in sharing their art but don't want to be a part of the showcase. And of course, the viewers, we need you to be there, so there's also an option for that as well. You can click the link in our bio or go to intelex.com. That's INTELEXX.com to register for any of those options. We have Meeting of the Minds Mondays, one Monday a month, where we talk about anything from art to business to self, or everywhere in between. If there are any topics that you would like us to discuss that we have not, first check it out on our page under our series to see what topics we've discussed so far, or on our YouTube channel. And if there's anything that we have not that you would like to hear on this platform, definitely connect with us via email, via DM, however, so that we can add that onto the queue, because we're here to serve you. If you would like to host a Meeting of the Minds, definitely connect with us as well so that we can add you on that list. We have Q&A Wednesdays, one Wednesday a month, where we pose a question to kind of gauge you a little bit better, get to know you apart from just artistry, because that is who we are, but that's not all that we are. If you have any questions, that is your time to ask. You can put it in the comment section or the question box during the live, or you can reach out to us and send your questions ahead of time via email or DM so that we can answer it during the live. If you would like to pose the question of the month or host Q&A Wednesdays, that is an option as well. Connect with us so that we can add you on that list. We have Freestyle Fridays. We have open mics every Friday that we're on. We have Second Fridays is our Battle Art Edition, where you have a chance to win some funds, where artists go against each other based on a certain theme. Viewers vote. Whoever has the most votes wins, and whoever wins picks the next month's theme. Since we did not find a winner this month, next month we'll continue with the theme of hero versus villain. Make sure to tune in if you are interested in participating in that competition. We also have this Friday, third Fridays, Art of War Art Awareness Fundraiser, where we raise awareness for the beauty, necessity, and uniqueness of art, as well as raise funds so that we can come to a place near you to go from not just virtual but also in person mini concerts, and to see the beauty that is in art based on your culture, your background, and how it looks. It may sound different, it may look different, but we want to spotlight those artists in different places and to have them host the mini concerts so that they can represent where they're from and show us what their art looks like. And you don't have to wait until third Fridays to donate. You can donate at any time. You can reach out to us, connect with us, click that link in the bio, go to intelex.com. There's many different ways that you can help, and it doesn't have to be just on third Fridays. Fourth Fridays is our feature segment where we spotlight an entrepreneur doing their thing in the community. Last month was Diamond, where she was supposed to feature, but due to technical issues, she will be our feature for this month. So make sure you tune in next Friday for our feature with Diamond. We also have Intellects, A Place for Entrepreneurs podcast in season 3. We are not just audio, we are visual as well. If you are interested in being a feature, definitely check out our previous seasons on Spotify, on Anchor, on Apple, on YouTube. And if you are interested, definitely connect with us so that we can add you on our list for that as well. We have promo options, we have voiceover options, we have books, we have merch, we have so many different things going on. We have the Art and Business Seminar that you can check out later on your own time on our YouTube channel. If you are interested in being a part of our previous if you're interested in being a part of our future Art and Business Seminar, and definitely connect with us. Those who are subscribed to our email list already know when the next one will be, so stay tuned for that. If you have not subscribed yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel and subscribe to our email list so you can be first to know, in the know. We have so much going on, but our email subscribers definitely know what's going on, and they get some goodies along the way, and it's free 99. We also have member fees as well. So that is all I have for you today. I am your host, Intellect, founder and CEO of Intellect Artrepreneur Agency, the Indeed for Artists. We connect you with so much, from resources to experts to networks and platforms, to promote you so that you can be the best you that you can be and your unique artistry. And we do that to the best of our ability. I want you to remember that you are uniquely designed and one of a kind, so don't let anybody stop your shine. Nobody can be you but you, so make sure you are uniquely, beautifully, and artistically you, that you do you, live you, love you, and crush it too. Alright, to all the newbies, welcome. To the OGs, thank you for continuing to rock out with us. To the team that's with me, I appreciate and love each and every one of you for all your continued support, for pouring in, for your dedication, and for believing in our vision and what we have going on. Okay, so thank you again to those that tuned in, and to those who will watch this later. Definitely appreciate you all. Until next time, I hope you have an amazing Monday night and enjoy the rest of your week.